Hey guys, welcome back to another video with Feb. So, Mojang came out with another video on their Minecraft YouTube channel. Actually, well, they came out with two of them, and one was going over the environment, and the other one was going over sound. So, we're going to kind of do a deep dive on these, and kind of dissect what information we can get from it. Hopefully, we'll come across something good, so let's go ahead, dive into it. And if you like the content, go ahead and make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and go ahead and follow me over on Twitch, streaming at 6 p.m. Central Time every day except Tuesdays and Thursdays. Alright, so now let's get started.
A game environment is what we refer to as the actual world that you walk around in. You can also call it levels, which it is, but we refer to it as environment as that word encompasses more than just the gameplay, but also the look and feel and the story that we're trying to convey.
So the entire point of a game environment is basically to bring out all the gameplay aspects of the game itself. So if you have an environment that has a lot of verticality in itself.
Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and stop it right here and kind of go over this little part real quick. So as you can see, there's some players underneath this level, or the floor plan, I guess. So you could say this is probably the main character that's playing on this version is on level 2. The other two are under level 1 possibly. So this kind of represents that for online multiplayer, it's going to be not a split screen, or it's not a shared screen. It would probably be the better way to explain it. So there's two ways that this can be done. It can be done with the players being stuck to one screen and everybody having to share that view, everybody having to stay within range with each other. This shows that you'll be able to kind of spread out and get out of sight of the other players, which I'm not totally against. I think it's going to be nice for, especially if these maps are as big as they are saying, and there's going to be a lot of like hidden pathways and stuff. It will be good for everybody to kind of spread out during certain situations and kind of get a gauge for the map. Because one thing I always kind of hated is when everybody was kind of stuck together, like, come on, hurry up, let's go pick your stuff up, let's move on to the next area. Come on, come on. Now this is going to alleviate that, so I'm happy about it.
Then maybe you have enemies that can shoot down at you from the higher points, and that will sort of create strategies and force players to think in a different way.
The environments that you will encounter in dungeons will be very familiar. They are set in the Minecraft universe. But with this game, we're trying to follow a plot line. And for that, all the levels and all the environments that you see in the game are there to accentuate or tell a story that follows the plot line.
The Desert Temple traps, a good example, is that there's a lot of stories about pyramids and such where there were a lot of traps present in the pharaoh's tombs. And I pull a lot of inspiration from previous games I played from other genres as well, and thought, alright, so if we're going to make this in a top-down game, how would we make that? How would that fit into the game? In general, in level design, I think it's important to create areas that differentiate between each other. It helps to distinguish one area from another. So if you play a game and every room looks the same, then you are going to get lost no matter how many times you play that level. But if every place looks different, if there's different lighting, there's the different size of the rooms, if there's just different shapes everywhere, then you will instantly know where you are when you go back there.
We have multiplayer, and it is very much designed as a multiplayer game, but you should also be able to enjoy it even though you're just playing by yourself. And that is a great challenge when it comes to both designing the game, but also designing, in this case, the environments or the levels.
It's absolutely difficult to design things for single player versus multiplayer, because you have to take balancing into account, you have to take the account into the players will just run around and run into different directions. So you have to sort of focus their target and make sure that everyone has the same goal in mind.
Wait a minute, what is this? Look at that. I'm zooming in on this. You guys see this? I have never seen this block before. This is a totally new block. Huh. I mean, granted, I am assuming that they're going to use blocks that aren't in the actual vanilla, but like this should totally be in vanilla. I like this block a lot. Has good detail. Dude, Mojang, what are you doing? Add it.
What makes a good dungeons level, in particular a Minecraft dungeon level, is a level or an environment where you can jump in and play on multiple locations and you get a new experience every time.
One thing I'm really digging about this is just the total aesthetic of all the levels I've seen so far. They all look really cool. I love the way that they're doing the buildings, the floor. The floors look very natural and very like gradiated over the area, not like just a clean, clear cut path. That's usually the preferred way I like to build. So if you actually want me to see me build some of these in like creative, just go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll go ahead and do that.
The levels in Minecraft Dungeons are to some extent procedurally generated. The way that we've married procedural generation with rewarding gameplay is to design sort of like puzzle pieces that we then can tell the engine to arrange for us, either in a way that we specifically tell it to do or in a way that is more random.
What procedural generation doesn't take into account is pacing, what kind of encounters you will have, how the level will play in general. So you have to sort of strike a good mix between procedural generation and handcrafted content. And I think that we felt that it was important to have these handcrafted areas where you could run around and everything had a certain pacing, but then we could string them together using procedural generation so that it actually behaves differently every time you play.
With Minecraft Dungeons, we want every level to stand out and to be able to stand on their own. So just by looking at a screenshot, you should easily identify where in the world you are, which level you are in, and hopefully also what part of the plot that you're in. My favorite part about developing environments for Minecraft Dungeons is that I'm a big fan of Minecraft and I get to play in a Minecraft universe every day and create new things. When the game releases, I think I'm going to watch Let's Plays and just enjoy watching people play the game and see them interact with the world that we've created.
Okay, so a quick little recap here of the video diary that we just saw from Mohang. There's some good things in there, some bad things I'm a little nervous about. For instance, where do we start? Do we start off on the positive? Do we start on the stuff that I'm a little bit nervous about? Let's go ahead, start on the good stuff, I guess. So to me, I'm happy to see that they're taking the procedural generation, what's the word I'm looking for? Repeatability into consideration, because when you're doing procedurally generated, it can get very same feely, or it can feel like you've been in the same area over and over again, because a lot of the time I don't think they spend enough time making every single puzzle piece like different or unique. So I'm happy that they're taking that into consideration, because the last thing you want to do is put 100 hours into this game and then just get really sick of looking at the same art or the same background constantly over and over again. So hopefully they do it right and everything pans out well. Now let's get into what I'm a little nervous about. Well, we still haven't seen nothing about the Nether, the end, or even like ice biomes or anything to do with snow. Oh, well, actually, no, I take that back. There is a little bit of a snow, if I remember from this little clip here. But that's about it. Otherwise, it has been pretty much very any. And I want more ice. I want it to be more like the ice spikes biome, I think is what it's called. But I mean, and then to go back to the Nether, there is some lava, but I think that's more so just like a castle or a temple thing. I don't think they have actually showed them going into the Nether at all, or the end. So I'm hoping that they're in the game. I think they are really essential to the overall experience of Minecraft, but I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to wait to see. They may be holding off to show it till later, you know, when they have a little bit more to show maybe, or when the game comes closer to release. It could be late game stuff. I'm not totally sure, but I'm hoping they don't leave this stuff out because I really love the Nether, and especially with the big Nether update that just happened, I feel like they would feel the pressure to incorporate some of that new stuff in Minecraft Dungeons as well. But, sometimes game studios do weird things. Alright guys, let's go ahead and jump on over to that audio diary and let's check it out.
The thing I really like about sound design is when it adds to that storytelling. When it naturally brings the experience to something bigger or greater or funnier or more scary.
One of the most common misconceptions when it comes to audio for games is that it's only about music. Obviously there's other things like voiceovers and dialogue that people think about as well, but I think the sound design itself and just the general mix of the whole game plays a huge role in the whole experience.
I think the sound design for Minecraft Dungeons is built on a base of vanilla Minecraft sound design and music design.
One quick question. Who actually plays with the music on, though? I turn it off every single time.
But on top of that, we have darker dungeons that we go into. So it's like darker, heavier, meteor sounds. But there is also an arcade element to the game, which is like you pick up the emeralds and it's almost like, it's satisfying arcadey sounds to them, which is completely new in the Minecraft universe.
So sometimes the work that we do isn't just what makes a sound or what music there is in the game, but also how we balance them with each other. So it could be as simple as just removing the music from the game altogether at a specific point, and that could be very effectful, for example.
Creating music for Minecraft Dungeons has been an ongoing process as well. It is not like we decided something from day one, this is how the music's gonna sound. But as the game development went on, the game got more and more arcadey. So we had to put in sort of some rhythm in the music as well, something that, keeps you going forward.
The first sub-dungeon that I made music for was the Crypt in Crypt Woods, and it was inspired by the fact that you're entering a lower space in a dungeon and it gets darker, so I figured let's add something that's conventionally musically darker, because there's like a light and dark scale to how scales work in music. So I chose the double harmonic minor for that, and added descending arpeggios for that, so it felt like it was descending into the dungeon. We came together in Aspudden in Stockholm, in Uppenbarelsekyrkan, which is a church that I've sung in for like 10 years.
We were talking about making a theme for the game, and then we were talking about what instrument we would use to make this theme. And we were first talking about piano because it's recognized from vanilla Minecraft. But then we sort of unlocked the idea, because we use choirs here and there in the game, but darker choirs that fit the dark dungeons, that we should record a choir that is inspired by the way villagers talk in Minecraft, to create sort of this. I really like that sort of spoopy. It's both dark and airy and beautiful, but at the same time a bit funny. That's Minecraft for me. It has both ways.
We agreed on having some sort of villager-ish sound to it, so it connected to the Minecraft franchise, which I haven't done before. I don't think anyone has done that before, so that's fun. Them singing like without words and more like in the style of the villagers. So me being an avid choir singer, I know a lot of choir singers in Stockholm, and just called the ones that I thought would fit the best, and basically had them sing the songs like villagers. what's cool about having a live choir is it gives, I think, the performance a greater presence. I think that's noticeable really on an emotional level.
Dungeons might look like a really simple game because it's pixel art, but there is actually a whole lot of depth to it, and there is a lot of musical and sound content there. So just getting that and getting it to work on all of the different platforms that we're going to release on, that has been a challenge for us, and something that we're really proud of being able to deliver to the players.
There wasn't actually a whole lot of space there for me to interject. As you guys did see, a little bit of pop-ups here and there. But other than that, I do think a lot of the audio design choices they made are pretty cool. Especially with the coins. Like when all the emeralds were... He was gathering all those emeralds, it was making that sound. That was really cool. I did like that. I thought that was a nice little touch. I did like the eeriness with like the villager choir going on. That was really cool. It definitely gave me like a chill vibe. Like this game, instantly I thought, I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to do a solo playthrough of this game. I hardly ever do solo playthroughs, and when I do, like, the music might add a whole nother level to this for me. So I'm actually kind of really excited about it because it kind of gives me sense of like the Hollow Knight soundtrack. It's just like very like melodic and very like dark almost. So I'm actually kind of digging the soundtrack from what I heard so far. It sounds really cool. I like what they're doing with it. Once again, guys, thanks for coming and hanging out with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to see further content like this, go ahead and make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like. I think I said this twice already in this video. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys are excited for Minecraft Dungeons as I am. So I'll see you guys around. Have a good night. Peace.